Hey guys, welcome into my home. Today, I wanted to chat with you about my three-step process for getting clarity and making a decision around anything important in my life. Recently, I had quite a few important things come up for me, and these three steps that I went through really allowed me to make the most aligned choice for me, and not be influenced by oftentimes other people in my life who have their opinions. And so I know from lots of the clients that I see that oftentimes what we end up doing in our sessions is me kind of coaching them through the decision making process, because it's not so much about me ever giving them the answer as it is for me showing them how to figure out what the answer they already have inside is. Because that's the trick that most of us really, really need. Because we can make the aligned decisions in our life once we have access to that. So I wanted to give you this three-step process really quick, give you a couple examples, and kind of let you loose on experimenting with it so you can see the effectiveness it can have in really releasing some of the blocks that you might be experiencing right now in your life. So first step of the three-step process is, of course, I'm sure you guessed it, praying. So the first thing you want to do before you even try to figure out the decision or get any clarity around anything is give it up to God or the universe or love or an infinite intelligent source, your highest self, your soul. Give it up, right? Get it out of your psyche and say, you know what, I need guidance around this area. Please help me see things clearly in this area. Help me see them through the vision of you, God, of you, universe, of you, love, of you, infinite source, infinite intelligence, of you, my highest self. Help my eyes adjust in this situation so that I may see it clearly as you would. And please, I would love to have your guidance on it. What do you think I should do? And oftentimes what happens is the answer we get, for some of us, we'll get an immediate answer from God or from source or from the universe. We'll hear it in our head. And oftentimes if that is the case, we won't even trust it. So we'll be like, that was too quick, that was too easy. Right? But you can also, you receive that answer in other ways. You can ask for signs. You can, oftentimes, people are God's messengers. So once you've created that sacred container, which is why it's step one, it's so important, is because once you've created that sacred container, you've asked God, you've asked the universe to help you see what is the decision that's in your highest good. Then the people and the advice that come into your life, if you're careful and you tune into it, oftentimes are speaking through the voice of God or the voice of the universe. They are angelic messengers that are giving you messages. The second step is to release your attachment to the outcome or what your thinking mind has decided. Oftentimes our attachment goes with what we should do, right? So if we think that, we should do our business this way, or we think that we should say this because of how someone's in a relationship, or we think that we should go on that diet because that's what our doctor said, right? Or Dr. Oz, or whoever it is that your advisor is, right? When we're living in that world, oftentimes we're attached. We've developed attachments to these other things. And so it should be clue enough that you're leaning towards this one thing, you are attached to it, and yet you're blocked. Because perhaps something inside of you is saying, this isn't the way. So when we release that attachment, and once again, you can release that attachment by a prayer, by meditating and just visualizing yourself release it, by visualizing someone cutting the cords between you and that outcome, by writing it out and burning it, right? By just being aware that you've been attached to a certain outcome and acknowledging on a daily or moment-to-moment basis as it comes up, that you're releasing your chokehold on that one outcome can be really effective. Number 3, and perhaps the step that always finally really seals the deal for me, and this is by putting it through the force flow check, right? The Abraham Hicks and their teachings on law of attraction, they always say that what's meant for us, the path we're meant to go on is downstream. And so when things feel downstream, when things are flowing easily, effortlessly, when it's almost like we're not even having to put much effort into it at all, when we naturally gravitate that way, that's a big hint of what's flowing downstream. And oftentimes, because we're programmed as a society to struggle, when something is flowing downstream, we want to get out of our raft, rebuild the raft, flow upstream, just to be able to flow downstream again, because that's what we've been modeled and taught. And so taking a look at the situation and without the attachment, looking through those infinite intelligent eyes, asking yourself, what direction are things naturally flowing in? And when am I forcing? What is perhaps the option that I'm forcing, and what is the option that's flowing right now? And so to break those down into a couple of very real life scenarios, we'll do one around your business, one around romance, and one around your health. So praying, your business, you want a new direction in your business. You're like, I'm writing a book and I need to know what the topic of the book is specifically, so I know what way to brand my business, so I know what offerings, what workshops to offer, yada, yada, yada. You say a prayer about it. Step 1, done. I did this. Step 2, you surrender your attachment. First of all, you notice what you're attached to. When I was going through this, I noticed that I was attached to a specific subject and a specific title, and in the way, because I was in my logical brain about it, and I was really thinking, okay, branding wise, this makes the most sense. It's very niche, it's very specific. This is like the angle that I think I was trying to be kind of like the puppeteer of it. And then when I did the force and flow check, the force and flow check sealed the deal for me, and it always does, because I really noticed that I was forcing that attached outcome. That actually, if I looked at what flowed downstream, if I looked at what felt easy and effortless and made sense, I would have naturally been guided towards the other one. So it was very interesting to have my eyes open in that scenario and be like, wow, if I look at the content that I'm naturally posting on Instagram, the content I'm naturally wanting to talk about on my blog, what I'm coaching in my actual coaching programs, it would have been obvious what the book should be. However, because I was attached and trying to decide from my mental capacity and not giving it up to God and not surrendering to the flow and not noticing what was actually flowing downstream, I almost went the wrong way. And so all 3 of those checkpoints were really helpful. Same thing in a romantic relationship. A couple months ago, I was dating someone, and we were kind of in this weird gray area, and I wasn't sure what to do. And again, I surrendered it to God. 2, I released my attachment to the outcome. I know I was really attached, 1, to it working out, but also 2, to doing the thing that I felt like my girlfriends thought I should do. To saying the things I thought was expected of me to say. And then again, when I did the force and flow check, sealed the deal. Because the force and flow check really aligned me with the fact that at that moment, at that precise moment when I was trying to figure out what to do, I was actually forcing a confrontation that was actually not ripe yet. And I think a lot of us have probably done this, right? Because we're so hyped up with all the things you should do, or don't let them disrespect you, or all this kind of crazy chatter in our head, that we actually don't tune in to what is flowing. And does it feel right to me? I think it's so funny whenever I coach people on leaving their jobs or leaving a relationship, any big kind of exodus like that, I always tell them that there will come a point where they will be unable to not say the thing. There will come a point and they will know and they will leave. And oftentimes we can get in our head so much about it that we don't listen to our guidance system, that our guidance system knows exactly when to get out, right? And then if we have a healthy guidance system, I'll give that disclaimer if you're in an abusive relationship or you are struggling with something like that, then absolutely you should seek help and get out. But for those of us in healthy relationships, normal relationships without extenuating circumstances, same thing with jobs, healthy job, perhaps just not something you want to do right now, your guidance system will let you know when to leave. If we trust it, if we release the outcome, if we listen to it, and we honor it. And so, and in closing, this video is getting a little long, but I hope it's helpful. Same thing goes with health. Surrender it, release the attachment, your attachment around it. Maybe you're attached to being able to do this one detox and have everything work out. And when we release that and we actually tune in to what's working, what makes sense, what am I guided towards for my greatest health? We tune into our body. What's flowing? What comes effortlessly? What is the book that falls off the shelf? What is the random suggestion from a girlfriend? What does our body actually say, right? What is God saying through our body? That's when we get the clarity. That's when we get the specific next right steps for us. And so I hope you enjoyed this 3-step process. This is an important tool to get your specific answer, to know that not all answers are so black and white. In fact, they're all specifically, uniquely curated for each individual path. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to dive deep and move further with me, I'll include a link below to some of the amazing, fun one-on-one sessions I offer to help you get even deeper guidance or the tools to create a life that you love. So don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day.